that you see me do in this video at home. Okay. Starting out with that disclaimer. Don't try anything you see me do in this fashion at home. And we'll be doing some deployment drills. Right? Deployment, covert carry. A few repetitions. A few repetitions of that. We'll go for it. There's 1 minute for so more short practice. And I was pushing the pace a little bit too much there. And this is something that actually happened before doing rapid deployment, especially if it's like a new way and forcing speed, because I'm trying to do it fast. Right away. There's sometimes cut to the pocket. So this is from doing that before. This is a cut to the pocket from doing rapid deployment for covert carry before. We actually cut the pocket to do deployment. So let's do more control. That one, I'm happy with that one. That's good. That's good. That's control while fast. So. I'll play over this a little bit. Now this is kind of worst case scenario because it's starting from here. So it's like the Wild West, the Old West, see? Where is that? Okay, so that from here. See, so it's starting from outside the pocket. A way that I can ensure that the deployment is easy to do really fast is the practice deployment by getting my hand on the handle like this. Do you understand? So obviously it's harder, it's like deploying from concealed. So if I have this knife here, this is a cold steel mini lead neck, and it's in this pocket. So the first few drills that I was doing, 3, was hand outside the pocket, and the knife is in this pocket. And you couldn't tell as I told you. So from here, see here, see? So what am I doing there? This is covert carry. This is similar to gunfighting martial arts. If you're drilling deployment from, okay, so this is knife fighting martial arts. And an important part of the knife fighting martial arts skill set or whatever, all different things you can do, if you're interested in knife martial arts, is deployment, okay? Where do you carry the knife and being able to deploy it from there. So from here, I'm retrieving now, back, buying space. There's different ways I can do this. I can also advance what I do, if I want to. There's so many things I can do. Or keep the same distance.
Remain static.
So you can practice what you're doing with the arm, remaining static, staying in the same spot. Or you can practice the whole thing. With like either close to the distance while deploying, or deploying then close to the distance, or retreating, moving back as you're deploying. Okay. So, this is the cold steel mini leather neck, double edge, which is dagger. I like this as a fighting knife. Double edged. Why? because it's a proven design. World War One trench knife. It's a proven design. If I want to argue for, I think a dagger is a good fighting knife, okay? And some other people go, no, the Karambit is a better fighting knife, or a Bowie knife, or this or that. And I'm going, I think the dagger is the best, okay? How could I argue for that? Well, the Fairbairn Sykes, see? Some militaries are going to have a knife for army members to use as a weapon. They pick a dagger, see? The Fairbairn Sykes, fighting knife, dagger. World War One, they experimented with melee weapons, and they would be improvising in the field with the weapons too. They have like a wooden thing, they drive nails into something like this, they put some weight on it, and then things like this. But they got to the point that there was a 1918 trench knife. So, arguing for a dagger, as Mike saw, here's what I think, a good fighting knife, a dagger is what I like as a fighting knife. It's easier to argue for that than a Karambit, something like this. Okay? Because it's a proven design that has been used by armies for melee combat before. And they're not looking to be ineffective, to be like gimmicky. See, it's like, well, and it's like learned in blood to World War One, where it's like they improvise like shovel handles and like put some barbed wire on or something like this, or we tried that and we figured this out, bayonets or this, that, and then it's like different, it's like they end up making a knife for trench fighting, and then end up with a dagger blade with a like a knuckle, brass knuckle handle on it, okay? Fairbairn Sykes, the Fairbairn Sykes dagger. Once again, an army of this world gonna have an effective knife to fight with on the battlefield. They end up picking a dagger and training for a dagger. So this is a Colt Steel-Mini Leatherneck, and what I like about this is it's big enough to be a problem for anybody, while small enough to be cared about much anybody in the right ways. Which means, for me specifically, you could go with like, it's more menacing. It's easier just like, it looks like a bad, dangerous knife if it's bigger and has like teeth at the back of it, like aesthetic stuff, like saw teeth back, like a Rambo knife, something like this. Which, do you understand? It's like, these people that get suckered by gimmicky knives that are like made to look dangerous more than actually like somebody who's a knife fighter, being Pons or somebody who's into knife fighting martial arts, makes knives to be an effective weapon. Do you understand? It's like aesthetics don't win fights unless you kind of like they throw the knife and the person be like, whoa shit, I'm not fighting this person. Okay. Now it's like this knife, and it's an instinctual fear of knives. So it's like this, if there's a knife holding in your hand, you have like, that's a dangerous thing to have a person attack with, no matter what it looks like, okay? So unless it's like crazy small, okay? Which someone might laugh if you, I don't know, you have like a knife that's like this big, and be like, you understand? It's then somebody might, okay, that's cute. But it's like this is no joke, understand? So it's important. These people that fall for, it's like they go on a knife website and buy a knife, like a knife, a weapon knife, fighting knife. And they see something like the Rambo knife, I see, and it's like a big blade, it looks, and it has like the saw teeth on the back, and they think that makes it more dangerous. Somehow it looks more dangerous because I've got like teeth in the back of it. Well, that actually, I prefer this over that knife, because if I would be stabbing through somebody's clothes, I'd stab them, go for the femoral organ, they wear jeans or something like this, or stabbing them just basically any part of the body that's covered by clothes, and I stab once, and I'm going to retract to launch more thrusts. Those teeth at the back to make the knife look more menacing. Some people, oh, it looks like a badass big Rambo knife, like the saw teeth at the back that look like it's like extra. It just looks more dangerous. That way, if I stab through a jacket or denim pants and retract, those teeth at the back might make me get stuck in your body, understand, on the way out. It might interfere with the retraction. After one stab to the torso, I want to retract to deliver additional stabs. And if this had teeth at the back, stabbing through clothing, retracting again with saw teeth at the back, like the teeth at the back of it, I might get caught on the way out, say, in a belt, in jeans, in whatever the person's wearing. So if you're interested in like combat knives, I don't recommend one that has like the teeth at the back, because one of the main attack methods for knife fighting is stabs, okay? and not slashes. So you want to be able to stab many times. If you're going to pick a knife for knife fighting martial arts, or in a place where it's legal, like in some places it's legal to have a gun for self-defense, okay, in America. So if you're going to have a knife for self-defense, one of the attacks you want to be able to do is stabs, okay? And not just one time and get caught. You want to be able to do several attacks, okay? So having these teeth at the back or a knife can literally get you caught, okay? So we'll do some more. And like I said, don't try anything you see me do in this live stream at home. And abide by local laws regarding self-defense and use of weapons at all times, okay? And that's not bad, I'm happy with that one. See? Okay, not looking, one hand, it's doing most of the work, and it's quick, see? So that's not bad. Now, it's good if you can be fast from whatever you're doing. Okay, it's good if you can be fast from whatever position. Okay, if your hand starts out being over here or here, you can be fast. A way to prep the deployment, obviously, so it's good to be able to do it, like the, okay, we'll do it again. Do 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 okay. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, so that's the point. Now, from here, and then this hand can be blocking something. This hand, as if there's a, could be grabbing your coat, see? This kind of general growth, kind of like low resolution, this hand going here as this hand goes here, that could be grabbing your arm or your coat, or it could even be going behind your neck, see? But like generally, as this goes here, this goes upward, and that could be to punch you, jab you, and you might get stunned, understand? But do you understand? So like this hand, it could be a punch too, and then I'm purchasing space for the deployment, and now it's out, do you understand? But there's different ways you can do deployment. You can do it static here, see here, and now I can drill that several times, just that. Just get it up and ready. I can make it different by starting here, retreating, deploy it, and then advance again. Or I can start a distance and practice deploying close to the distance and then attacking. So, a way to ensure easy deployment is the prep deployment. Like this, for example. And once my hands are in here, it doesn't take that much skill to be able to quickly pull this and stab you with it, understand? It's like, but now you're watching this in a video, so it's like, don't get too, okay. So here's the point. Like the general, you understand what I'm saying? So here, from here, I can drill, the button is closed, it's in there, okay, and then getting in there and getting the knife out, okay. Now a way that doesn't take that much training is, I call it prepping deployment. So it's, for example here, yeah, it's good if I can have the skill to be able to get this out quick enough to be it's like, it's not like I'm a sloth, okay? It's like, okay, I'm able to do rapid deployment a few times. I feel like I can end up pulling it off in a high stakes situation. Like a rapid deployment, understand? See, and it's like, unless you knock me out on the way back here with whatever you're doing, if I can get from being this close to you and do that, just retreat, and unless you knock me out as I'm moving backwards, or like something, like notice how from here to being out here with the knife deployed, it's about like a second and a half or so. So unless you can like knock me out with a head kick as I move backwards, and it's like you interrupt the whole thing. It's like this is like a second from the decision is made to deploy the weapon to me being here and deployed. Now obviously from here there's other things you can do. And all kinds of stuff. So here's the point. This is an easier way to deploy it. Here. Prepping it. So there's the cowboy, like, starting outside, and then like the quickest you can like, get out there. And then there's prepping the deployment. We're starting out here, early one morning. So it's from here. And what you're not seeing is what I'm doing. This is what I was doing in my pocket. Understand? So there's like 99% of the deployment is complete already for this position. See? It's very fast. So that kind of takes the need, like performance, like really stressed or something. It's like it takes a lot of the things that could go wrong out of the chain. It's like unbundling the pocket, getting the handle, getting the thumb here to ensure like good deployment, and not like, do you understand? It's like several steps. It's like get the heavy pocket. I want to get my thumb on the sheet so I can push, pull, and then be out here. Okay. So there's less things that could go wrong because like a big part of the chain is already completed. Do you understand? So where did the sheet go? One of the normal things as I do this is like the sheet goes fine, so I had to go looking for it. So do you understand? So from here, button closed. So the button closed here. Well, so from the button closed here, and practically the point from here. It becomes, this is a button here, it's closed. So if I start from here, it becomes getting the hand, listen, click, now it's unbuttoned. Get a quality grip on the handle, and at this point it's this. Then it becomes inside the pocket, this, so when I come out, I'm here, see? Okay. Now, notice how those parts of the chains are easy to interrupt. Where if it's here, and a person's psychic, and they can read my mind and all this, like, the guy's right now thinking about pulling his knife, he's made a decision to pull a knife. And it's start moving, like, grab the arm before he can get in the pocket, and make it hard for him to get his hand on the handle. But like if the hand is already on the handle in the pocket, it's like the one thing that remains is this other side, okay? So, and the hand, left hand, as I did it there, is doing defensive movements, where it's making it harder for you to knock me out with a head kick or a hook punch, something like this, as I'm pulling the knife. Now obviously being static and just doing this, that's doing something. Now you could combine it with this, okay, or this where you're moving forward and you're actually attacking with the elbow as you put it up on guard. And then touching, if you impact with any part of the person's body, with this, that feeds your brain with target data. It's like a boxing, touching with the left can help you to land the right, okay? Because like the brain goes, there's the target, it can help you to land the right, okay? So it's similar to that. Now, we go left hand, left pocket, okay? And I'm going smooth and control it first. I kind of control. And then from here, it's already out to. And once again, I'm doing something with my shoulder to make it hard to knock me out before I can deliver my stings. Understand? So from here, and with this, I'm not really full power. This could be calf kicks to the knee or the leg, or to the groin or whatever. It could be a push kick, and if I make it more forward, I just kind of check the box of like the start of this kick. That kick could be something that makes the person fall down. Just kind of a optimal scenario. Or feed them with something coming low and they shift the focus to being attacked low, and then there's something coming high. Okay. So we're going left again. No one control this time. And a lot of times it's, if I do things like this, it's getting to a point where I'm ready to launch, understand? And then sometimes you can do the whole thing, where it's ready to launch, and then things like this. Now, obviously I can do things with other hand, but from the left, I'm focusing more on the left. Do static. Now I'm satisfied with what I'm doing in the pocket, because this is what's going on in the pocket. So now I feel that I say I'm ready to deploy. So a big part of the complexity of what's hard to do is getting the grip inside the pocket, if that's what I want to do. So something that could be a problem is you get it and just pull it, and you have the sheet on it, which means if a person is moving here, I can't quickly point A to point B have a common attack. You understand? And that's like a common deployment problem. Certain carry methods and sheets and stuff, where if you go here and I just pull, okay, the sheet comes with it, which adds different steps. If I end up like this post deployment, I succeed in getting the knife out of the pocket and having it here. Now, in this case, you had to do this after, and now just moving it forward, it's up there. So see, so now it's deployed. If it ends up being this, see, and the sheet is there. This, I can impact with this, but it's not stabbing, okay? Not like with the sheet off. Which means if it comes out with the sheet on, it adds a second step deployment. And there's other things to do there. And there can be somewhat of a difference in how like broken in it is. If somebody buys stuff like this, and they try the first time deploying, it might be a little bit hard to deploy it. But if you're a person that does things like this now and then, after buying it, it kind of breaks it in and it becomes a little bit easier to deploy it. Not that it's too easy, because it still passes the test of not being deployed when I don't want it to. So I'll be able, do you understand it? I can do this, I can do this, I can still hang this like a necklace knife. Do you understand? This is a Colt Mini leather neck, and it's made, I think, Margaret's a neck knife, but you could carry it like in a necklace, okay? And obviously, if you have a knife like that, you wouldn't want it like come out the sheath inside your shirt and come down. So here's the point. This improvisation turned out being good in more ways than one. Why? Because this here was an improvisation I made to be able to use the actual knife, carry knife, for training, impact training. Meaning actually having a dummy and impacting with this knife, okay, without destroying it. And this is padding, tape, and a part of a sponge I cut off and taped it there to keep it from creating new holes, because using it with the sheet on before and stabbing, it still open up the dummy. So it's like it needs more padding, okay? So, and then using 2 zip ties, like a cross, like this, to keep it on, so I can do attacks like this without the sheet comes off, see? because it's not just about this not creating punctures, wounds like holes in the dummy, martial arts ball dummy. If I'm practicing thrust, now yeah, I can do this, but it's not that that's the only thing. I want to be able to practice my thumb to secure now. I want to be able to practice these type of attacks on the dummy, slashes, not just stabs. See? So now I'm using the thumb as a safety to keep the sheath from coming off. But obviously, if you do a power attack here, push cut here, it can unsheath the knife, and now I can't keep attack with it in combos because it's unsheathed, so now I'm creating damage to the dummy. So this can be the safety, the thumb on the side, and it can keep the blade from coming off. Let's test it actually against this high friction object, a tall paper roll. Don't try anything so you can do this at home. But here is the thumb safety to keep it from being deployed. And yeah, I could, and the sheet is not coming off. Nice point. I use 2 zip ties to attach the sheath to the handle, so I can practice all kinds of attacks on the dummy without destroy the dummy and with less injury risk. So anyway, support. This is a knife, a dagger knife, and this knife is a dagger knife, and what a dagger is good at, piercing, okay, penetration. A quality dagger design lends itself towards good penetration due to the shape. Just that if you look at the 2D shape, that's a penetrating shape. It's an aerodynamic, hydrodynamic shape. What makes an object be hydrodynamic is the same thing as being aerodynamic. If you construct a submarine to offer little resistance against water, that's the same as make a space shuttle offer little resistance against the air. So aerodynamic shapes become hydrodynamic shapes, meaning an object offers little resistance against the medium if the medium is air or water, okay? So this is an aerodynamic shape, and this aerodynamic shape makes it good at traveling through a medium with less resistance. Just like an airplane flying through there, you want less resistance because you need more horsepower and pushing forward to travel through the air then, and more gallons of gasoline and stuff like this. So this shape, if this was about like just flying through the air, needing less powerful of an engine to move this through the air, okay? Less energy used to have this move through the air. The same shape, it will work for that. The same shape, now the wings have to be backward and to whatever. The same shape makes it good at traveling through ballistic gel or a state or something like this with little resistance. And little resistance, it means it's good at penetrating. Okay, so if this was blunt, and there's a reason why the nose of a fighting jet is not blunt, like a big flat thing, okay, because it gives more resistance to the air. So if this was flat, everything else would be the same. I just like ankle grinded this to be flat. I'd have to hit it really hard to get through a coat. If I wanted to try it on the dummy and get a second one and make it flat, just cut it off with like a torch or something like this, and then have the dummy with a jacket on, and then stab it. I need to hit it that much more hard to get through the clothing into the torso. It was flat, but because it has this shape, it's really good at getting through things. Okay, so a dagger like this is good for piercing. Okay, it's good for piercing. And another advantage of a dagger. So one advantage of a dagger knife design is it's good at thrusting, getting through stuff and kind of easily getting into the body, even if there's clothes in between the body and the blade. Another advantage with a dagger like this is you can attack in more ways. So for example, if I want to use this knife to stab you in the neck, or to say here, and you start moving towards me, so at the moment of impact, I end up not hitting your neck, but end up kind of clotheslining, hitting behind your neck with the wrist or the forearm here. I can right after pull the blade back, and I'm cutting the back of your neck. Do you understand? So for knife martial arts, there's an advantage. I heard Lynn Thompson be quoted in a knife podcast, said there's like this a guy I heard, I started to kind of see what he's saying or agree with him more all the time. There's like carrying a fighting knife with just one edge is like carrying a gun with half a magazine loaded in it or something like this. And it's like, yeah, so that's the point. With a dagger, if this was a normal knife that's only sharp before my tongue, and there's somebody here reaching for my hand, I can still cut it moving towards me, okay, with the front, because it only has the front from the thumb sharpness. With the dagger, if something's moving here, I can go down and I can pull up and I'm cutting it, see? And then if I'm here now and almost there, I can push down, I'm cutting, pull up again, I'm cutting, and like whatever which way I end up behind or in front of something, I can simply attack it, understand? So here's an arm. With this grip, I can push forward. If I end up behind the body or limb, I can pull back and I'm cutting. And there's something else here, push forward, I'm cutting it. There's something now behind my hand that I want to cut. Simply just retract. If I end up behind your body, I was going for like a stab on the rib cage to the liver or on this side. I go with a hook stab here to you. And once again, I overshoot, where I hit behind your body and I'm clotheslining the back of your body. And there's a moment when I'm behind your body, if I just pull back quickly, I'm cutting on the way back, see? And if I'm here now, I can push forward and I'm cutting forward, see? So if I end up behind something, just pull back, I'm cutting it. I can push into something to cut. I can pull to cut here. I can cut here, get behind the leg, pull, and I'm cutting, see? So it's easier to, wherever I end up with the knife, to have like a easy way to cut something from there, okay? And if it's something that where I'm here, and you shoot a takedown on me, and you shoot on me and end up like in the air, here, is that I can still, as I'm landing, and do this, understand? Things like this. So, do you understand? So that if, as you shoot a takedown, as long as stab trying to hit your torso on the way down like this, if I end up missing it behind the body, if I'm behind your back like this, I can just pull and then push and then do things like this. So, now we're going to do a different deployment. Just always move first. And it's out there. That's left, left. And left, right will be left hand and yeah. This is left, left. Now once again, a way that I can make this process a whole easier is to do this, for example, here. And put my hands in my pocket. And I could be going to get some dip here. Or I could be going in the pocket to get some dip, but there's a knife that comes out to dip into something else. There's a different type of dip. So it's a point. And the silhouette, meaning it's like, it's in here also. So, see, so with these pants, this pocket, it kind of, now how it ended up being, all these factors, is it ended up doing a big part of the pomade form. I just need to open the button and it kind of fell out and the handle comes out for me to grab it. But you don't count on that, okay? So from here, so here's step one, step two, and then step three. So, here's another thing. Obviously with this, yeah, so what I was saying, as I was improvising this for impact training, another effect of that improvisation is it makes it easier to deploy like this, see? Because that protrusion at the tip of the sheet offers more resistance, which means I can switch this, so improving this in a way, improving all kinds of ways. Whereas like this, due to self-improvement, adding a piece of a sponge I cut off and taking it there, help me be able to do impact on the ball dummy without stabbing holes into it. But then it's like, oh, it also helps with the deployment, where I put it under the belt, and it helps me to deploy it without the sheet coming with it. Which if it doesn't have that add-on at the tip, and just sliding it under the belt, it can happily pull it and the sheet comes with it. So, see, it's here. Now, that's not a colding grip that I had after deploying it. But this is the knife. And maybe at this point knows that I have a cold steel recontactor here too. There's another cold steel knife that's bigger. Still concealable. So, see here. And we can have it like this now. Well, actually, we have it like this again. Like this. So from here, I'm trying to see do it, it's not shimmy home. So here. See, so this I like this. And if you're gonna try some of this at home, despite me telling you don't. If you're trying to do it fast when you get the knife out, don't try to do it fast as you get the knife in again, okay? Because that's a bigger risk factor. If I kind of pull it fast and get it back fast, you don't kind of put the knife back fast. If you take a knife out of your pocket and it's a fixed blade knife, you don't try to put it in the sheath again fast. You understand? If you're a person, you're a proper outdoors person, or you're a knife martial artist, whatever, and you have a knife in your belt and you like pull it fast, you don't try to put it back fast, okay? For obvious reasons, because you can end up poking yourself. You're more likely to. So from here, and then there's some grip adjustments after that, because my deployment grip was a recording grip. See here. Here's another thing as a knife fighter. I've seen people before, when people are knife martial artists, and some idiot. Well, depends on who you're training against and who's. It's like some Instagram knife martial artist has like a knife of it, and then someone goes, it's like, I will kick the knife out of a guy's hand for this. Well, I've talked about this before. An instinctual way that people end up wielding knives is to kind of have it clear out from the body. It's like, do you understand? It's like a woman who's alone at park, lost a guy approaching, you might have the knife kind of like this here. Kind of more like an instinctual, put like a barrier or something dangerous in between you and the person while you're retreating away from them. It's like a more instinctual, untrained way to have knives and wield them is to have them far out from the body, which makes it easier to kick the knife out of your hand, which makes it easier to sweep the knife arm quickly, which makes it easier to disarm, you see. So it's hard to disarm somebody that keeps the knife close to the body, which if you see me train knife martial arts, a lot of times I'm sticking close to my body, and if I go out it's to attack, okay? So like hip guard, return to the hip butter, or here or something like this. Because if I have it like this, it's easier for you to get the knife from either way and me not be able to catch it. Or it's closer for you to kick me in the wrist, like kick the knife in any which way, kick the knife from and disarm me. But if I have the knife here, kind of my hip here, it's hard to disarm me, see? Because if somebody is kicking, I could catch the kick even coming in with the knife. Okay, and I have more reaction time. With like somebody's closer distance to go for my knife, I have a greater chance to counter the person coming in if the knife is closer. So it's harder to disarm me if I have the knife close to the body, see, and not out here. So as a general rule of thumb, if I'm out here, it's because I'm attacking out here, and I'm not like hanging out far away from the body. See, I'm not hanging out. Spend a lot of time to hold the knife like this. I'd rather have the knife here. See, and from here I can do a variety of things. Even this you should be unrespectful attack. Well, here's another thing. If you train knife fighting and learn different moves and stances and stuff, it makes it able to be more unpredictable. We don't know what's coming, understand? And it's harder to defend if you don't see the attack coming. So if they know what attack is coming, it's like come at me like this, knife fight self-defense tutorial. Understand? It's like some it's like I can disarm anybody. It's like the martial arts student is like coming at them like this, and it's like they know that's coming. And especially if somebody's telegraphing, it's like they're coming at you like this. It's easier to understand that the attack is coming up here, okay? So with some training and learning different knife martial arts stances and attacks, since it is, you can be unpredictable where no matter where you're holding the knife, you have different ways to attack from there. And it's not like down here, my attack is going to be a hook from the right side or a straight thrust from there. No, the knife from here, it can be this, see? Or from here, it can be stabbing to the liver. Whereas that's more like a trained attack method. Like a more intuitive way is to, it's like predictability. It's like if the knife is high, the attack high right, the attack will be high right, okay? If the knife is down right, low, it will be a low right attack. Do you understand? It's more instinctual. It's like somebody has it up high, the attack will up high right. And a more trained, refined way to, is that from here I can attack here, see? So that this, and you can like play with that, was like the instinctual way to attack is not what you're using. And the instinctual way is tell the person, is like, come at me like this, I'm coming at you from up here, understand? But I can do the same thing, but I can be here and then come here, see? Okay? I can be up here and I can come here, see? So I can start from here, and yes, I can attack here, see here, or downwardly to the neck area. So I can be here and then attack like this, or like this, see here. But I can also start from here, and then throw a stab, so it goes high right, here, and attacking from the other side, see? But from here, see here. And that's the opposite of what you're telegraphing, see? And from here, it can also be not the instinctual, like, okay, holding high right is gonna be like this. It can be here, it can be kind of the opposite. I can start from here, and then do this. Will be an upward stab here, see? And you see me do this in training sometimes in my training streams. And this something just came to me, and it's got to be other people that have been. There was a butterfly that came in there. Okay. Touche. And he impacted my body. See, with his body. Now his body is not as dangerous as what I'm holding. Well, it wasn't a butterfly, it's some kind of insect that have wings to make it look like some kind of butterfly. So where's his point? So here, from here, it's like up to the point where I can teach knife martial arts better than some people charge money for it. Like this scamming rag guy, okay? So here's something I can teach you. One of the ridiculous things, silly things that he did was talk about grip changes and tell people to do grip changes. It's like using both hands to do grip changes. Whereas what I've been teaching people, grip change drills and stuff, it's like things like this. Using one hand, okay, and this little loop here can actually interfere with nice upon. So from here, one-handed grip changes. And it's better to be able to do with one hand than to need both hands to do the grip change drill. And also it's so retarded because if you're going to teach people to practice grip change drills and you're using it like he did in his video, kind of like, yeah, do grip change drill, people are going to get cut. And that doesn't work with daggers either. It's like specific that you even can do it. It needs to be a knife like this, it's not sharp at the back. And still people can get injured even trying it. It's like more likely. So here, this is how I do grip changes, one-handed. And this is more static. You can use more inertia. See? I actually dropped it there. So it's like trying to use a little bit different. Let's support. this here, there's so many different things. I've got to show more knife fighting martial arts. And here's one of the things. Knife fighting martial arts, Mike Sal knife fighting martial arts system. So that you can take it or leave it. I'm going to be teaching ways to be effective with a knife. You go, oh, I don't believe in it, okay? But you couldn't argue against it without being wrong. Because nothing I'm doing is like silly, ridiculous, ineffective. So, for example, here, this is what I figured out. You can actually use the sword is the shield. I mean, you can use the knife as a shield. So if you think medieval combat, you have a shield that you catch attacks with, like a sword or a club or whatever the type, a spear. You catch attacks with your shield, okay, or a buckler, okay. Now, the sword is the shield, where if you're throwing something, I move the blade into the limb moving towards me. So if you're throwing a punch, and I mean, see here that you punch at the blade. So do you understand? Where some of these things are more like athleticism, hand-eye coordination, reflex time, general athleticism, and willingness to drill things dependent, okay? Do you understand? It's not just get the concept once you catch things with a knife. And then you expect like a guy to actually be able to notice here where it's like do you understand? It's like you're more likely to pull this off if you do some drilling and stuff. That's the point. You can catch things with the knife, okay? Which means if I have the knife here. Now first of all, just having the knife here, it's like it's taking away your ability to throw a traditional like head kick, it's making it a lot more dangerous. Now I would want to have it more like this then, okay? But do you understand that if I have the knife here, okay, now maybe you try to kick me in the head to knock me out, but the knife being here makes it a lot more dangerous to try to land a head kick here, see? Just because the knife is here. Just it being the general area makes it a lot more risky to attack that area. Like throwing anything at the head, just the knife being here. Do you understand? And even if it's like, I'm not even trying to catch, but just you attack it to the head as the knife is here generally. It's like it can end up that it's like just even if I just have like a reflex, you attack it, kind of freak out. See, it might still catch the thing that was throwing at my head to make it kind of be like something's come to the head. See, even like accidentally, I might end up catching something thrown at the head. So you can catch things with the knife, meaning it's like here. See, for example, here. Okay, so if there's a jab, somebody moves in to land this, see, it's something like this. See here. So this, do you understand? Now you have to get into specifics of being fast enough and your reflexes, what the like things it is. But here, for example, from here, see, I can do this. For example, from here, I can do this. See? And if I start here, and there's a kick coming, if I do this, the kick can land here, see? Or on the elbow bone. Do you understand? So, you can catch things, that's assisted, because if there's a kick coming here, I'm not going to just like, here, let the kick into it. So if I'm trying to catch your kick with this knife, I'm more likely to want to have it like this. I get into specific or the blocking grip that I discovered. And that's going to be knife dependent, body dependent, and attire dependent. So with my body and this knife and this attire, it's higher quality. Where as a blocking grip, I can rest the knife against my forearm like this, and it makes it better at blocking and stopping and receiving enemy. Do you understand? If I have the knife here, and there's something that hits the blade, it's more likely to turn out of my hand, hurt my wrist, the fingers lose the grip, and I lose the knife. Do you understand? If I'm gonna catch a kick, I don't want to have it like this really. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. It's like kick into a sword. No matter who's doing it, they're hurting the leg. I understand. So even if it's kind of like a low quality grip, just kicking into this, it's hurting the leg. Now, I'm not just looking to have the person hurt themselves by kicking my knife. It's a one-off and I lose the knife. Okay, and they got an injured leg, but they can still attack me. Ultimately, I want them to hurt the leg kicking to the knife and keep the knife in my hand ready to use. So this blocking grip here, rather than have it here,
where if force is applied here, it starts applying force to my wrist and my fingers. Which means if there's something hard like a baseball bat or baton or a kick or an elbow hitting this, I'm more likely to lose the knife if I start out having it here. It's like leverage, understand? So it hits here, it starts turning, it's more likely to lose it. So, pre-assuming this position, this is a stronger blocking grip, see? This here, where I have the back of the blade rested against my forearm here. And this is a stronger blocking grip. Where the force applied to the blade when it's here, right down here, it doesn't begin. Do you understand? So we talk about the concept of blocking attack, see? So somebody's kicking, I catch you kick, you understand, with a knife. And it's like, something comes here and I do this and have you move whatever you're throwing into the knife, okay? I'm using my knife to catch attacks, okay? Now this is a way to do, okay? Now, what you risk catching things like this, if something hits here, if there's an elbow, a punch, a kick, it starts turning and I can feel the force bending my wrist and my fingers, you're more likely to lose the knife. See? So a better way can be rested against my forearm, and this is a stronger grip. Where if force is applied to the blade, it's more straight and it's not starting, I'm not feeling like, oh, I'm starting to lose my grip. See? Whereas here, even if I have it hard, okay, it starts turning my wrist and my fingers is another weak link. So a hard attack hitting here, I'm more likely to lose the knife. Or like break my wrist or something like this. Do you understand? Whereas here, and I've tried this before. Okay, hold on. Shorty, we gotta do this. We gotta demonstrate it. Okay, don't try anything you see me do this, I see me at home. So, here. Here. So here, look at this here. See? Now, if I have it here, see? With this grip here, like here, it starts turning my hand. Now if I go here, and I can even do this here, see here. And I'm starting to break it, so I'm not gonna. That's a support. This is a grip, a blocking grip, a better blocking grip, where I'm having it against my forearm, and it hits here. Okay, so it's a blocking grip. I can start from here with this blocking grip. See, here. Then I can go. It obviously it's not like, oh, I'm limited to I got the blocking grip. All I can do is block things. Okay, so now from here with the blocking grip, here. It can go here, yeah. It can go here, see? It can go here. It can go here, see? Forehead cut, face cut, neck cut. So from here, I can still attack quickly from this brace, strong blocking grip. Okay, so from here, I can punch cut with it. I can turn and stab with it. I can do this with it. And this, see. I'm thinking about making a video on another topic, which is better not to deal with in this video. But another topic of, yeah, and I'm thinking about making a video on another topic. So, here goes. Once more with the feeling here. And which one do I pick for cover carry? Middle. Okay? Let's try side a hit, right hit. It's not specific.
Let's go left side here. Here. And there's so many ways you can have this. An advantage of fighting with two knives is, well, there's a lot of advantages fighting with two knives. One advantage is if fighting multiple opponents, where I can have the knife here, I can cut behind myself and stab the person in front of me at the same time. If there's one person behind, one person in front of me, and I have two knives here, I can move in for a stab to this person while cut the person behind me at the same time. Versus one knife, I can only attack one direction at a time. So if there's people behind me, people in front of me, and there's one person here, I can only attack one direction at a time. If there's one person here, I can't attack them both at the same time with one knife, see? With the same knife. So it's like stab here, oh, I want to attack behind myself, turn and attack behind myself, and I'm not attacking over here. With two knives, I can attack in front and back at the same time in right of ways. Which means I can go stab in front and turn and cut in a wide angle behind myself at the same time. Here. Here. Or use both knives to attack in the front if I want to. It can be more complex where it's like high and low, or like cut the leg and stab to the top of the head at the same time. So two knives is an advantage.